Welcome to a slow, beginner-friendly lesson on creating reusable modules in Python, made for absolute beginners. Modules make code reusable. Today you write your own Python module and import it from another file. Until now you wrote everything inside one file, often inside IPython. Real programs split their work across many files. You write functions in one file, then import them wherever you need them. This lesson shows the full path. Create a utilities file, write a few useful functions inside, then import them from a main file and call them. We also revisit the dunder name pattern that lets the same file work as a script and as a module. Your files become tools. Here is the whole project. A folder called My Project, with a pyproject.toml created by UV, and two Python files next to each other, utilities.py and main.py. That is all you need for this lesson. Utilities holds helper functions. Main is the file you actually run. Two files, side by side, no subfolders yet. We keep the layout flat on purpose so the import story stays clear. Two files, side by side. Create the project with UV init my project. That gives you a pyproject.toml and an empty structure. Move into the folder with cd. For this lesson you do not need any third-party packages, so no UV add is needed. The standard library has everything. When you need a package later, you add it with UV add and UV tracks it in pyproject.toml. UV init builds the scaffold. The run rule is simple. You always run main.py, never utilities.py directly. Open main in your editor, write the import, call the functions, and run with UV run python main.py. UV uses the project virtual environment automatically. You do not need to activate anything. If you forget and run UV run python utilities.py, the file runs but nothing visible happens, because utilities only defines functions. Always run main. A single Python file can play two roles, a script you run, and a module others import. One file, two roles. A module is just a Python file. Utilities.py is a module named utilities. Main.py is a module named main. There is no special syntax to make a file into a module. If it ends in .py and contains Python code, it is a module. The file name without the extension becomes the module name you use in an import statement. This is one of the cleanest parts of Python. Files and modules are the same thing. A file is a module. Why split code into modules instead of keeping everything in one big file? 3 reasons. First, you write a function once and reuse it everywhere, so you stop repeating yourself. Second, when you fix a bug in utilities, every file that imports utilities gets the fix at once. Third, each module has one clear job, which keeps files short and your project easier to read. Splitting code well is a skill you build over time. Write once, use often. Open utilities.py and write a few helpers. A greet function that takes a name and returns a friendly string. An add function that returns the sum of two numbers. An isLong function that checks whether a string is longer than a threshold. Nothing here calls the functions. Utilities only defines them. That is the contract of a module. It offers tools, it does not run them by itself. Other files will call these tools when they need them. Define helpers here. Now open main.py. The first line is import utilities. Python finds utilities.py in the same folder, reads it, and makes its functions available through the name utilities. You call them with a dot, utilities.greet, utilities.add, utilities.isLong. The dot means, look inside the utilities module. Run this file with UV run python main.py and you see hello Ada, then 5, then true. Import and call. When you write a function once and use it many places, you stop repeating yourself. Code you reuse. 2 ways to import. Option 1, import utilities. Now every function lives under the utilities namespace, which makes it obvious where each function came from. Option 2, from utilities import greet, add. Now you can call greet and add directly, without the module prefix. Option 1 is safer in large files because the names never collide. Option 2 is shorter and fine for small scripts. Pick one and stay consistent inside each file. 2 ways to import. From import lets you pick exactly the names you need. From utilities import isLong brings only isLong into your file. You use it directly. One thing to avoid, from utilities import star. That pulls every name from the module into your file. Names can collide, and you lose track of where each name came from. Linters warn against star imports. Prefer explicit names. From utilities import greet, add, isLong. Pick what you need. Recall the dunder name pattern from the previous lesson. When you run a file directly, dunder name equals dunder main, and the block under if name equals main runs. When the file is imported, dunder name equals the module name, and that block does not run. This means the same file can be both a script you run for a quick check, and a clean module other files import. Put demo code and manual tests under the if block. Script versus module. Under name tells a file which role it is in right now. That is the key to reusable modules. The name tells you, follow the life of a file. When you run python utilities.py, Python sets dunder name to dunder main. The if block runs. You see demo output. When you import utilities from main, Python sets dunder name to utilities. The if block is skipped. Only the function definitions run. The file is quiet. Same file, two roles, decided at runtime by the value of dunder name. That is the whole trick of reusable modules. Two roles, one file. Run utilities directly with uv run python utilities.py. Because you ran the file, dunder name equals dunder main. The if block runs. Greet is called with the string test. You see hello test printed. This is the demo path. Use it when you want to try a function quickly without writing a full main file. It is a scratch pad that never runs when the file is imported elsewhere. Demo path. Now run main with uv run python main.py. Main imports utilities. Python sets dunder name to utilities, so the if block in utilities is skipped. No hello test appears. Only the calls from main run, hello Ada, then 5, then true. This is the production path. The same utilities file behaves differently depending on whether you run it or import it. Clean separation, single file. Production path. A common error, module not found error, no module named utilities. Two usual causes. 1. You ran main from the wrong folder. Python looks for utilities in the current folder, so run from the folder where utilities.py lives. 2. The file name is wrong. If your file is utility.py, the module name is utility, not utilities. Read the error message, check the spelling, check the folder. The traceback tells you exactly which import line failed. Read the traceback. Some habits that keep modules clean. One module, one job, utilities holds helpers, do not also put database code there. No side effects at import time. An import should never print, never ask for input, never write a file. Put any demo or manual test under the if dunder name equals dunder main block so it only runs when you execute the file directly. Prefer explicit imports over star imports so names stay traceable. Keep modules clean. A Python file is a module. Import it from another file to reuse its functions, classes, and variables. Dunder name tells the file whether it is being run directly or being imported, so the same file can serve as both a script and a clean module. You write a function once, you use it everywhere. Bugs get fixed in one place. Files stay short. That is what reusable modules buy you, and it is the foundation of every real Python project. Modules in one breath. Next lesson we go one level up. When you have many modules, you organize them into folders called packages. A package is just a folder with a dunder init file inside. You also meet the SRC layout, the standard way to structure a real project so imports and tests work cleanly. After that we add type hints, annotations that say what type each function expects and returns, so your editor and your future self can read the contract at a glance. Packages come next. If you want a quick practice, add a shout function to utilities that returns the uppercase version of a text with an exclamation mark. Then import it in main and print the result of calling shout with Python is fun. Run main with uv run python main.py. You should see Python is fun in capitals. One function defined once, used from another file. That is the whole pattern. Add one more helper, quick self-check. Can you explain what a module is in one sentence? Can you write an import statement for utilities.py? Can you explain what dunder name equals dunder main does and why every reusable module benefits from it? Can you run main with uv run python main.py and see the expected output? If any of these feels shaky, rewatch the matching part before moving on. Say each out loud. Thanks for learning how to write and import your own modules. Next we organize many modules into a package. See you in the next lesson.